Hi, my name is Bruno, but not the Bruno, I'm just Bruno. I usually say I'm a filmmaker in the making. What does that mean? Well, I don't know either, but once I figure it out, I'll let you know. Till then, feel free to join me on the ride. I recently started a challenge on Twitter for Gary Vaynerchuk, named the 365 Question of the Day Challenge. I'll give more info on that later, but today is extremely important. You know why? Because it's my 50th question. And to celebrate this milestone, I added a clip from one of his many advices on how you should be living your life. And man, this one is a keeper.
I made enough dollars a long time ago, and I don't mean some of the cool stuff. I mean, when I made $100,000 a year, I literally thought I made it. Sure. You know, in the micro, sure, with all my crazy Jets ambition. Yeah. I can tell you right now, and I mean this because I want you to hear it from me, yeah, my wants around this area are far more about my legacy and how I go to sleep at night, sure, than the financial impacts. For me. Legacy is greater than currency. Let's get into that statement a little bit more. One of my favorite I'm not even sure if anybody's ever said it before, I'm sure somebody has, but I'm all about it. I haven't heard it much, but I've been rocking it, put on a t-shirt. What do I mean when I say legacy is greater than currency? You know, I always go from self, inside of myself when I communicate and talk to people, and that's why I think I'm able to articulate it, because it's my DNA, right? And so, everything I've ever done, when I first got into the liquor store industry with my dad, all I ever wanted to do was be the biggest wine shop in the world. That was the #1 agenda. And so what I talk about, every business decision that I ever made, every one of them was always based on my long-term legacy as being the biggest wine retailer in the world. I can go close a $4 million deal with Kellogg's or IBM, fine. I come home and I get an email from a kid who tells me there's no better feeling than that. That's legacy. I always knew how to make money. That's nothing new. The legacy of impacting people, that's new, that's exciting. That was the key. That was my entire thought process. So when I was paying myself nothing, even though the business was exploding, and when I was letting other managers take vacations in lieu of my vacation time, all these decisions, every one of them, you can't skim. Every one of them has to be about your long-term legacy. My North Star is legacy. Reputation. What do you say behind my back? A lot of you first get a hold of me and you're like, I don't know about this guy, and I win in the long term over and over and over again, because intent and the truth always win, and my intent and my truth is I'm going for legacy. It can't be about the dollars you're putting in your pocket, or more importantly, taking a Series A or some VC money. What is it gonna do? Are they gonna make you vest in 5 years, or are you gonna have to wait 5 years to cash out? A lot of people do that because it's this money. They're not monetizing right now, they're not making the cash, right? So you take in this extra flow, they take percentages, you're on the board, what have you, but wait a minute, you're now in theory really locked into this game for 5 years, and in this world, and I'm doing this because I'm trying to show you, in this world where things are changing every minute, where players are changing every minute, if you're a hustler, if you're a very hard worker, and you're putting everything on the line, put it into your own personal brand. Just make rent, pay your bills, and keep building your personal brand, and always think of the big picture. That 7 p.m. to 2 in the morning thing, it's everything. When I tell you it's everything, like, we're only gonna be so pretty, we're only gonna be so funny, we're only gonna be so charismatic, we're only gonna be so talented in what we do. No question, the variable of success in the last decade, as I became a poster child of entrepreneurship and crushing it and hustle, the people that have outworked the other people have succeeded at a much higher variable. The legacy. Who are you going to be viewed at when it's all said and done? You know, so many people are like, my children, my legacy. Absolutely. But where is your personal brand and your business, whatever you're involved in, where is that legacy? Where is that legacy? Where is that legacy? I'm going to say it again. Where is that legacy? And the reason I keep pounding it is because of this. I truthfully believe all the way that if every business decision you make, from hiring a secretary to buying what paper you buy, whether it's like earth-friendly, right? To every move you make, if the first question you ask is, how does this affect my legacy, my long-term legacy, when it's all said and done, I guarantee the currency will be there at the end. I'd much rather have 1 million friends right now than $1 million. Not even more than $100 million. The world is changing, we're more connected, and your legacy, your maneuvering, your decision-making process has to start at your long-term legacy. Big picture always wins. If you really ask me what the fuck I do for a living, it's that I'm trying to create a legacy because I'm either A, so egotistical that I want that, or B, love human beings so much, because I do, and that's why I think I've popped on social. So I think a lot of what I think about is, what's the legacy of this maneuver? Like right now, this is fucking stupid for me. Doing an interview with you for 15 minutes is fucking ridiculous.
I love it.
It makes no goddamn sense, but I'm feeling pretty good about the odds of maybe this leading to you showing up to my funeral. And so if you take every decision out there that you can make from who you're gonna be surrounded by, who are your friends, right? People are looking for short-term traffic, right? You know, dig, stumble upon this and that, silly things like that, or who your circle of friends are, or any of those kind of decisions, minor decisions, what conferences you go to, what color is your website, everything has to start with, how is this going to impact my global legacy? Because I think one of the things that really works for me is I'm not worried about the micro, but I think about the macro. This helps me a lot. Like what the fuck am I doing with you right now? There's a lot more to do with the fucking showing up to the funeral than it has to do with fucking the bank account. And you know what's funny is if you actually live your life like the funeral, you end up making stuff for the bank account by accident. You end up meeting somebody who, you know? Like, it's so crazy when I think about like how I invested in Twitter and made all that money. It was more about giving a shit about my funeral. And I guarantee you, when you make legacy decisions instead of quick cash decisions or mid-range cash decisions, you're gonna win every time. When you come from that thought process, when you add it to the DNA game that we talked about, being your DNA, when you add it to not lying to yourself, when you break down these and you start putting these pieces in place, you start winning. I'll give you some good examples because I'm gonna really give you details. I was buying full-page New York Times ads that were costing me $30,000 when I was paying myself $28,000 a year in business. Why? Because I was investing in my legacy. I wasn't worried about getting a new car when I was 24, like with all my other friends, even though I knew I was building something bigger. And that's what you need to do. You need to survive and thrive. You need to just keep it going. You know, you gotta pay your bills, see your family, do all those things, right? Stay healthy, have a little excess cash just so you can buy a Wii or something to make you happy. But at all times, eye on the prize. Legacy is greater than currency. Your social equity is far greater than your financial equity. It's not even close, and all these technologies are only making that more obvious. Please, if anything after this video, what is your legacy is going to be the question you need to ask yourself before you make any kind of financial decision. Legacy, my friends, is greater than currency.